Hi everybody, welcome back to my 100 Spotify OCs project where I make a character for each song on my Spotify Wrapped 2025. We are on song 83, which is Caribbean Blue by Enya. I don't have so much to say about this one, I just highly recommend you go check out the song. It's very beautiful. Per Enya's standard, it's got a lot of layered vocals, a lot of deep synths and like rich reverberation, a lot of flowy lyrics, so it is just very oceany to me. It's got the word blue in the title, so this one's pretty cut and dry. I sketched out a little siren here. When we get to the painting and coloring phase, she's gonna look a little different from your standard stereotypical mermaid, but here she is as a sketch, and I'm honestly really happy with the sketch too. So I feel like I've gotten more comfortable with people as the project has gone on and as time has gone on this year. Neck would be way too long there. I always have a tendency to draw heads a little too far separated from the body, and it's a little silly. I'm going to do a trick and tilt this up towards me so that it's slightly easier to get the perspective right. If you work on an angle, things aren't getting smaller as they're getting away from you on the page quite as much. And I really like the pose from my concept sketch for her, so I'm just going to keep that. The outstretched hand here. Maybe some fish are like following her around. I had some thoughts on skin coloring. I think it would be very cool if her skin coloring was kind of like a seal's in the way that it can be dappled. I don't remember the technical name for this coloring pattern, but many marine creatures are pale on their stomachs, like the underside, if they're going to be swimming with their stomach towards the ocean floor. And then they have darker colors on the top, on their back. And the reason for this is because creatures underneath them are less likely to be able to distinguish their shape and see that, oh, there's an animal swimming up there, I could hunt it, if it's pale and it kind of blends in with the light coming in from the sun. And inversely, creatures looking down at the back of the animal from above are less likely to see the shape of the animal there. They're just going to be like, oh, it's just the dark sea underneath me. I'm going to keep going. So that being said, I think it would be cool to give her kind of some stripes and some gradient. I'm so scared to draw the face because I feel like I always mess things up. See? Literally nothing to worry about. It looks fine. So there's her outline. Time for ink. I think shell bra is kind of the only thing you can do with a mermaid. It's so classic. It's so cute too. I love it. It's just like, oh, I found these clamshells. Well, no one else is going to use these for anything. Okay, so she's inked. I think it would be cool if she didn't have human skin tones necessarily. I think maybe if I mix up sort of this light blue, but add in something to desaturate it just a little, so that she's like a really pale gray color, like a seal again. This is actually like a 6-day pillowcase that I bought at Muji, and I sealed it with silicone around the edges, so that's why the edges look really ugly, like very chopped, because it's just silicone, like aquarium silicone. And now I have a waterproof mixing container, and it cost me $1.50, not counting the supply of the silicone, of course. I already had aquarium silicone because I am setting up an aquarium for a fish. I'm really excited. I'm still cycling the tank right now, which is a thing that no pet store tells you about. What you have to do when you set up a new fish tank is get a colony of beneficial bacteria going in there before you do anything else, because they will eat the ammonia produced by fish waste. Like, whether or not you do water changes, you need these bacteria in the water, because you physically would have to change the water every single day, maybe multiple times a day, to keep up with the ammonia levels yourself. That kind of consists of just putting ammonia in the fish tank for about a month. It's simultaneously more complex than what I'm saying and easier than what I'm saying, but you basically put ammonia in the tank somehow. Some people use straight up fish tank ammonia, which is what I'm doing. Some people will put in fish flakes as if they're feeding fish and then let those rot, which is gross and harder to control, so I'm not doing that. You wait until the bacteria in there have grown enough as a colony to process all of the ammonia in roughly a 24-hour period, which means that every 24 hours, most of the ammonia in your tank will be eaten up by these bacteria, and it won't poison your fish, because it can cause internal bleeding, it can cause their fins to rot. Like, it's not pleasant. It's why, like, betta fish at the store look so rough in their little cups. It's because they've got a lot of ammonia building up in there. Then you have to set up a secondary colony of bacteria, because the bacteria that eat the ammonia produce their own waste, and that is nitrites, which are also toxic to fish. So you need to set up 2 colonies of bacteria in your fish tank, ideally, before a fish even touches it. So anyways, that's a crash course on the very basics of aquarium cycling. So here's kind of the body. I'm happy with that weird kelp green color. I'm going to make some darker layers on the back area. So I kind of want to take this color and then just add something more vibrant to it for the tail. Like, I don't have an idea in mind, so I'm going to take some primary blue and add that and see what happens. That's nice. Like a nice desaturated blue. It's a bit darker. I think I'll add a little more of this primary blue to darken it a little more. That seems good. I'm gonna try it on the tail fin first, because then if for whatever reason I don't like it as the whole tail color, I can do something different on the whole tail. My wet on wet method with watercolor is really janky because I always forget to lay down the like carpet of water before I start putting down the pigment. Except in the case of the body, I actually remembered it in that case, but I always end up putting down pigment and then putting down water and then trying to like blend the pigment out into the water. I'm going to do it the same way on this tail fin just for the sake of mirroring. I am back. My phone stopped recording. But we're good now. I haven't thought too much more about different colors for the hair and the tail, but I decided that the shell bra is going to match. I also think that her pearl necklace should probably be like a dark brown color. I really like the chocolate brown pearls. I hope you can hear my cat. Tombo! He's crying out there. If I let him in here, he'll come in. He'll sniff around a little bit, and then he'll leave. And that'll be that. So I think he just wanted me to say where I was. Yeah, that works. I get nervous the moment things start to go well with a watercolor painting. I'm like, oh, I can't just put things down willy-nilly now. I have to mean it. Yeah, I like the way that looks. And maybe if I add a hint of red to that. Let's see about that for her hair. I feel like red is so overdone for mermaid hair because of you know who. But that's like an auburn color. That's pretty. So I'm gonna get some, yeah. Then it kind of coordinates with the pearls, but there'll be a little bit of contrast. This week's artist inspiration is another pixel artist. I have a trifecta of them, so we're in the middle of that right now. It is Pixel Art Journey, where I was saying that Jubilee last week does a lot of landscapes. Pixel Art Journey definitely has beautiful landscapes, but I really appreciate their studies of objects and the way that they make mock-up video game sprites. I just think it's really cute that they're able to come up with a whole myriad of things that are visually speaking the same language, things that could exist all in the same video game, but it's not really a video game that exists anywhere, at least not right now. Beyond that, the way that they render other studies of everyday objects like a jar of honey or a still life is really refreshing to see in the pixel art medium because it's not the type of medium you'd associate with something like a still life. They have their own website with a small gallery of their art. I ran into them on Tumblr last year and have enjoyed following them, so I will link that in the description below. And this has been Pixel Art Journey. I'm gonna go back in and mix up the same color I used for her main body because it's dry enough now that I can add in the darker accent spots and the dappling. One of my favorite things, okay, I really like the amount of spots on her. I'm gonna stop before I get too much into that. I've been watching a lot of Farscape recently, so I think that's kind of made me more prone to designs that aren't typical human skin colors. I love Zan, the blue girl from that show. She was always my favorite as a kid because blue is my favorite color. And now she's my favorite because she appears to be the only rational person on board Moya. So jot that down. Sorry, I know I said I was gonna stop before I started doing too much, but I used to watch Jenna Marbles, so I have the gene. I inherited it from her. I added a little bit of dark to like the crown of her head so she'd look a little more like Zan. All that's left is the fish and the tail. For the tail, I may lay down just a layer of the pale blue that's kind of the base of her skin color and see how I like that. Oh, I have to do the kelp in her hair as well. Well, I think it wouldn't be all that different from the colors of the spots on her. I'm going to add a little bit of green. Isn't it cool how I haven't used any green at all so far to achieve the greens on the page? So that'll make these stand out a little more. I guess I'll do this like vibrant green apple kind of green and mix it in and see what that does. Oh, I'm doing it off camera so you can't see. It's a pro tip that I learned from YouTube Academy. That looks a little better. We'll swatch it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna use a smaller brush though, because I have one. Oh, I've been trying to figure out where all these spots of color are coming from. It's because I'm doing this. You're working with a really high intellect right now. You're watching genius at work. What's that clip from Top Gear?
Watch this.
Where he's like, sometimes my genius frightens me.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
And he's like dragging a log down a hill that he improvised as a braking mechanism, but it keeps kicking up off the hill because he's on like a rural dirt road and like slamming into the back of the car. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. I love this. I'm gonna take, well, I don't have any more of her hair color left. Here's the big problem. I'll mix colors in these and then I won't clean them out because I'm like, well, maybe I'll use something like that again, or maybe I'll use that as a base for another color some other time. And then I do. And then once I run out of that base that I mixed however many sessions ago, and I don't know what I did to make it, it's like I could try to reverse engineer, but generally I don't. Oh my gosh. I have to stop doing that over the painting. Oh my gosh, there's so many specks of color. Ooh, I got some orange specks on her though, and they look kind of cool. These are gonna be fish that are like orange as a base, but then I'll give them brownish tops so that they've got the same color gradient going on. I think this is the happiest I've been with an OC in a long time. I've felt a little stale already. It's kind of funny. I'm like not that far into this project and I've already felt a little bit stale about what I've been doing. But switching to a medium that's more fun, I would argue, to watch, and definitely more fun than just sketching. I don't know, just doing something a little more loose and carefree has really helped. I'm putting on some of the green spots because who cares, you know? It just fish. I like that. I like the way that looks. This is very pretty. As a final surprise, I have this iridescent medium that you can paint over a dried wash or that you can mix with watercolor. I'm going to take a little bit of it on a clean brush. I have to find one that's a good size for this, however. I'll dab a little bit out on a clean brush. And just kind of put it in my tray here. And I think it should go on the tail. Oh, that's very pretty. This is the first time I've used this. I was saving it for something that seemed special enough to warrant it. Which generally, like, it's cool to save things for special occasions, but every day is kind of a special occasion because you're there for it, aren't you? Like, I should have been using it, but I'm also kind of happy I saved it for now. I really like that. I will add a little bit of glimmer to the fish when they're dry, but other than that, it's gonna go here. I might dab it onto her as little spots. Yeah, I really like that. I'm very fond of that. And I'm gonna have glitter in the water. That's the one thing. I didn't look to see if this is like biodegradable. We can just hope. We can just hope and pray. I'm sorry if I've introduced more microplastics into the environment. I don't know how to spell Caribbean blue. Oh, okay, I spelled it. in an area off camera because I knew I would run into this. All right, here's our beautiful, wonderful siren for Caribbean Blue. This was so much fun. We're so back. I'm really happy with her. If you are new to the channel, these are characters that I will be raffling off at the end of the project for a charity. But my introduction video talks a little more about kind of the values I want to align with for those and options. And if you want to have more of a say in where that goes, you should join my free Patreon. The link is in the description. And thank you so much for watching.